Okay, welcome everyone. So start sitting like toward the back of your chair, like this, and have your feet wide. Have your feet wider than the feet of the chair. And then you can hold on to the front like this, and inhale, lift the chest, move the buttock flesh back so that the buttock bones are, you're toward the front of the buttock bones, and then come forward. You could either put your elbows on your knees, or you could put your hands on the floor if you can easily reach the floor. Okay? So from here, lengthening through the sides of the waist, the sides of the chest, and deepening the groins, taking from the inner knee to the groins back. And also feeling from the outer knee into the outer hip, pinning in. So the femur bones coming closer to each other as you extend the trunk forward. Now, come on up and come a little bit forward. Like so, it's now sitting toward the middle of the chair seat. Feet are still wide, and feet more or less turning forward, but they might turn a little bit out, which is okay. Move the buttock flesh back, and then with your elbows on the knees, come forward. So we're working on the hip flexion, getting that crease at the front of the hip so that the spine can elongate. And now this time, hold your elbows and hang down. Hold your elbows, reach down toward the floor. Allow the weight of the arms and the shoulders to bring the whole trunk forward and down. And change the cross of the arms. Just let the head dangle like a ripe fruit. And then now, reach back. Can you reach the back legs of the chair? If you can't reach the back legs of the chair, you can crisscross your arms and hold the front legs. If you can reach the back legs, go ahead and take that. And grasping the chair legs, then draw your trunk lower and lower down. Let the back muscles spread, and then come on up and push into the floor, and then elbows to the knees, and come on up. So now take the left foot up on the chair seat like this. And sit on the edge. Now, if actually everybody, let's take a blanket. I was going to say if the buttocks are lifting, you could sit on a blanket, but I think everybody should sit on a blanket like this. Okay, so I'm putting a thick blanket on the chair, and then the left foot comes up. Keep the right leg bent. Bring your elbow to the inside of the left knee. You can take hold of the back of the chair with the right hand. And inhale, lift up. Exhale, turn to the right. Keep the firm grip of the left outer thigh into the left outer hip so that the leg is not giving out from under you, but the leg is pushing back into the elbow in order to lift up higher and higher through the trunk and turn. And then come back to center and take the other leg. So now the right foot will come up. And you can let the toes turn out a little bit. That might be easier on the hip to get the depth of the flexion here in the right hip. And then the left foot is bent. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, bring the elbow to the knee. The left hand behind you. Press the elbow into the knee and sit up very tall. So even though you're twisting to the left, keep that right outer hip down, the right outer thigh coming into the hip socket. So there's a secure cinching of the right thigh into the right hip as you lift up and twist. And also a little bit of pressure of the right leg into the right arm. And that should help you to access the spine so that you can lift the spine more and twist more from there. This is a version of Marichiyasana 1. And then release. Let's do that one again. So bring the left foot up. This time, take your right knee further out. Do you see? So I'm taking the right leg a little further out. So it's kind of like Upavishta Konasana feeling here, kind of a wide leg feeling. And then reach the arm up and then bring the elbow down. But clamping of the left outer thigh into the hip socket, pushing the knee into the elbow somewhat, not to overpower it, but to give a little resistance there so that you can lift up more through the trunk. Now let's work on the twist a little bit more here. So with your right hand, push on the back of the chair. You can push on the side of the chair, the back of the chair, in order to bring the right side ribs further back and to bring the left side ribs further forward to your right side more and more and more. And spread the collarbones wide, spread the chest open. And release. Take your right leg up. And of course you can always build up the height under the hips, you know, if the hips are tight. And then step the left leg further out. So the left leg is wider than the chair width here. All right, inhale, reach out with the right arm. Exhale, bring the elbow down and begin the twist. Press the knee into the elbow into the knee. Cinch the right outer thigh into the hip socket. Have a feeling of the femur heads coming together, the right outer thigh coming down to the blanket. And then with your left hand, push into the side of the chair in order to bring the left side ribs around more and more, and the right side ribs further and further in the twist. You can either lift your chin and look slightly over your left shoulder, or if you have neck issues, you can look over your right shoulder. And then release. So Marichiyasana is actually a twist and a forward bend. So this last round, we're gonna, well, I'll have this foot forward this time, and then leaning forward like this. So twisting and leaning forward. I can hold on to the back of the chair so that I don't fall forward. But leaning is to get deeper the groin. Okay, so lean forward as you twist. Get that feeling of the forward bend and the twist. Now, straighten out your left arm. You could try this. Take your arm around the leg and reach that left hand further and further back. And that's nice for the shoulder too. And then spread across the collarbones as you press the left elbow back. Left hand further and further back. And the left hand, you can kind of climb the left hand above the buttock. And then lengthen the sternum from bottom to top, extend through the crown of the head. And release. Right, so these are all variations of Marichiyasana 1. Bring your left foot, right foot up on the chair now. It's forward bend week at Iyengar Yoga Detroit week 2, and so we're doing a variety of forward bends from the chair. Okay, reach up through the right arm. Inhale, exhale, lean in, lean forward, and then twist. So it's a combination of a twist and a forward bend. And the knee comes into the shoulder and twist maximum, holding onto the top or the sides of the chair so that you don't fall forward. But there is a feeling of the momentum going forward. And if this is going well, you can take the arm and wrap it around. Don't try to do the wrap if your shoulder is not touching. But if your shoulder is into your knee, then you can wrap the arm around and then reach that right hand further back. And with the left hand, twist more, pressing into the top of the chair. With the left hand, twist more. You can even take the clasp here. All right, and release. Come back to the forward bend. So let's remove the blanket from that and come forward again. Come to your elbows, feet are wide, and then release your trunk all the way down. Take hold of the chair legs. If you can almost reach the chair legs, you might be able to reach it if you go further back on your chair seat. If you go too far back on your chair seat, then your chest might be bumping the front of the chair. Just let the head hang. If you're holding the front legs, pull your elbows away from each other. Pull your elbows apart. That's right, like that. So that you can go deeper into the forward fold. And then soften. Notice if there's any resistance and soften. Okay? Come on up. All right, let's come up to our feet and have the chair against wall or strong furniture and take downward dog, okay? Adho Mukha Svanasana. Gripping the sides of the chair, pull up to the thighs, press the thighs back. Recreate the depth of the groins that you had a moment ago. And inhale, come on up. Watch what I'm doing. I'm doing something kind of odd here. So I'm turning the toes in quite a bit. So this week, we've been talking a lot about the nature of the hamstrings and the three hamstrings in the back of the leg. So there's the semimembranosus, the biceps femoris, and then in the middle, the semitendinosus. So there's three hamstrings. And so we can vary the extension of the hamstrings by changing the feet. So look, I'm pigeon-toed, like quite a bit pigeon-toed. And then Adho Mukha Svanasana here. And you'll really feel the outer thigh lengthen when you do that. Okay? Have the feet further back than the hips. Further back than the hips. And then roll the thighs in and get the outer leg to stretch. It's the outer thigh that has to really extend as you press the heels down. Now try the opposite. Try the feet turned out and the toes turned out, the heels close together. That's also very odd. And see what that brings you in terms of what's happening in the hamstring. So maybe you feel some more extension in the inner thigh when you do that. The outer thigh shortens, the inner thigh lengthens, and you have to really stretch out the backs of the inner thighs. After you've had that understanding, then turn your feet back forward and see if you can feel both the inner thigh and the outer thigh of the back of the leg stretching. Both the semimembranosus and the biceps femoris. And while you're at it, the semitendinosus will also stretch here, all three of the hamstrings. And now come up, bring your left foot forward under the chair for Parsvottanasana. And then from here, Parivrtta Trikonasana. Rotating. So roll your left shoulder back more and more. Good. Press into the right outer heel. extend through the entire trunk, and then switch legs. Come back to Parsvottanasana, switch legs. So first, extend the trunk forward in Parsvottanasana. You could walk your hands forward on the chair. You could even bring your elbows down on the chair if your legs stay straight, if your back stays straight. Otherwise, stay up on your palms. Now, turn. Bring your left hand to the center of the chair, right hand on the hip, and reach up through the right arm. Twist into Parivrtta Trikonasana. Soften and deepen the groins, lengthen through the trunk, straighten the legs. Now you'll also notice, and then come back into Adho Mukha Svanasana. You'll notice that with those trunk variations, then you'll access different parts of the hamstrings, right? So you might notice that in Parivrtta Trikonasana, maybe you have a lot of stretching sensation in the outer leg, in the biceps femoris, the outer hamstring. Try it again. Left foot forward. Right heel down. Now see here in Parsvottanasana, can you get the center hamstring, semitendinosus, the center hamstring pulling back. And now come to Parivrtta Trikonasana. Twist. You could even put your elbow on the seat of the chair if your legs stay straight, and you'll get more sensation probably on the outer left thigh, biceps femoris, and then come back to center and change legs. Parsvottanasana here, and concentrate on getting all three of the hamstrings, especially the center of the hamstring, pulling back. Right foot bone pulling back. And then the left hand to the center of the chair or your elbow. And now you have to pull even further back with the right outer thigh, right outer hip, and reach out through the right arm for Parivrtta Trikonasana. Keep gripping the left outer heel into the floor. So you get that left calf has to really lengthen, right outer hip back, and come on down, back into our friend Adho Mukha Svanasana. Try the leg variations here again. Turn pigeon toe, bring your toes in. Turn your toes in, stretch out the outer thigh. Firm the knees. All the while, the kneecaps have to be very firm so that the quadriceps are engaged. And the quadriceps, the gripping of the quadriceps will actually protect the hamstrings. And now, turn your feet out. Kind of like ballet, first position, second position, sort of. And so, can you feel the inner thighs stretching here? Then toes forward, toes forward. And with the toes forward, see if you can feel all three of the hamstrings lengthening back evenly. Okay. And then step forward, Uttanasana. Kneecaps are firm. And then rest your head. If you need to build up the height of your chair with a bolster or blankets or blocks, do so. Legs straight, hips over the heels. Spine straight, legs straight. And guess what? You can also experiment with the turning of the legs here. So turn your toes in and notice what part of your legs are being stimulated here. Turn your legs out, ballerina feet, and see what you notice here. Make sure that the hips stay over the heels the whole time. And then turn your toes forward. The hamstrings are very much associated with fight-flight response. We tend to carry trauma in our hamstrings. And it makes sense, you know, like we need to have strong hamstrings, and then come on up. When, you know, when you're being chased by the tiger, you need to be able to run away. Now, sitting on the chair again. But if they're too tight, then it's going to cause injury, you know. And so we need to bring the consciousness to the backs of the thighs and figure out how to soften and release them when it's appropriate to, in an intelligent way, not in an aggressive or forceful or unthoughtful way. So now from here, have the back of the chair facing the camera, and sit with your left shoulder toward the back of the chair, mirroring. Sit back so that the entire thigh is supported on the chair. And feet together this time. Move the buttock flesh back. Inhale, reach up through the left arm. And exhale, come forward again. But now we're going to twist. So now reach your right arm toward the camera. Right arm toward the camera. And keep turning the chest. You can use your left hand on the top of the chair to leverage the shoulder back and to twist further. Then bring your elbow, your upper arm into the thigh. Hold the chair leg. And then Pachasana. Extend through the crown of the head and turn. Deep in the groins. Keep the feet matched up, the knees matched up, the hips square on the chair, and then from there, turn the abdomen, turn the rib cage, turn the shoulders, maybe even turn the head. If you have neck shoulder issues, you can look down at the floor. Otherwise, turn your, starting with your left ear, turn and bring your right ear up to the ceiling, extending to the crown of the head. Release. All right, let's go to the other side. Tadasana. The thighs on the chair, feet below, feet square, feet matching. Reach up to the left arm. Inhale, exhale. Now first, just reach the hand toward the camera and get the shoulders to turn. You can use the hand at the top of the chair to push the right shoulder back more and more as you reach the left hand further and further and further. Now, get the elbow or the upper arm. The goal is actually to get the armpit, the left armpit onto the right thigh, and then hold the leg of the chair near the foot of the chair, and push your top hand into the top of the chair and turn more and more. First, lengthen. Make sure your feet are matched up, your knees matched up, your hips square on the chair, and then extend to the crown of the head and rotate. Soften the abdomen, turn the chest, turn the shoulders, and turn the head, either looking down at the floor, or if you want to do the classic drishti, the classic gaze, you have to bring your right ear down toward the floor and the left ear up to the ceiling so that the ears are perpendicular to the floor more and more. And then release. Yeah, connection problems. So did you twist to this side? You can do the other side. Otherwise, go ahead and twist. Do Pashasana on this side. Yeah, Wi-Fi has been glitchy all week. It's very, very frustrating. And then come up and do the second side. Inhale, lift up. Exhale, twist. These twists are good for digestion, good for back issues, good for neck and shoulder issues. Really, really important. And then release. Okay. So now, to finish, have a mat on the floor at the base of the chair. And then we'll do some Chatushpadasana, and then you'll take Shavasana, all right? So holding on to the seat of the chair, the feet of the chair. Take your feet to the edge of the chair, lift up, get way up onto the tops of the shoulders. This one is not for your period, but press the arms down, lift the buttocks up higher and higher, bring the chest to touch the chin. And then come down. And 2 more times. Inhale, exhale, lift up. Wiggle onto the tops of your shoulders so that you can be way up high. Roll the thighs in. And reach the tailbone up, reach the buttock bones up, and spread across the top chest. So lengthening through the front thighs. And then release. All through class, we've been deepening, we've been flexing at the hips, so now we're extending at the hips. Last time, inhale, exhale, lift up. See if you can lift up equally on both sides, right and left. It's likely that one side is doing more of the work than the other side. So see if you can get them to even out. And when you look at your thighs, when you look at your gores, it should be at the same level, same height. And then come on down. Now rest your legs on the chair. Turn your palms up. And then you can take Shavasana here. So releasing the outer thighs, releasing the outer shins. Shoulders down to the floor. Soft face, soft throat. And I will bow out now, but you can stay and rest as long as you want. It's nice to get a little afternoon rest time. So I'll say goodbye for now, and thanks for coming, and see you next time. Thank you, Marlies, for doing tech.